Greetings, everyone. What is activation? People talk about it, say, I activated when such and such thing happened. I'm going to say some things that no one wants me to say, so that everyone can learn what this whole activation deal really is about. So, this goes into the Greys. Now, some of you who are scared of the Greys, just breathe deeply and we'll try and go through it a little slowly here with me. Now, activation refers to something, a program almost, that the Greys have, where they essentially aim a sort of beam at you, for lack of a better way to describe this, and shoot you in the head. This was done to me on this temple. I knew that I was being hit in the head. I knew that it was a beam of some kind of something, a light, well, frequency. I knew that it was like kind of thing like that, getting zapped almost, and it was for about 3 seconds. And now, while I was imprisoned, I realized, okay, wait, it wasn't something benevolent that hit me in the head. You know, it took me a while until it was told to me with the Ashtar command, you were zapped in the head, yes, that's what happened. But they didn't tell me, oh, and it was the Greys who did it. Because with the way reptilians are so telepathic, their 7th dimensional telepathy, you have maybe about 3 seconds. What I noticed, I had a lead time of about 3 seconds of me thinking, I'm going to go make a video about activation for them, whoever is around and who's might be trying to kill me, to know. I call it, oh, they're seeing my intent coming a mile away. Almost like that. And so it was very critical that I not know that who I was really hit in the head by, because if they see you and they see you thinking the wrong thing, it's almost like they can literally see what you're thinking. And if they see you thinking the wrong thing, then they're not, it's like, oh, okay, she's got it wrong. And then they find that pretty amusing. It's the way that they are. And so that's how we tactically kind of fight back. That way, they'll actually leave a lot of the Starseeds alone. Then there goes a helicopter. Wow. Lots of, okay, I have at least one friend who's been followed around by helicopters. Okay, activation, what happens? What the Greys are planning to do, I sense people are wondering, okay, well, what are the Greys doing? They want to activate all the Starseeds, which basically means every single human on the planet, because now every single human on the planet is on the planet for a reason at this particular time. And everybody has it in them to either sink or swim, to be able to ascend or die. But the idea, the Grey idea, was to forcibly activate people by shooting them in the head. And then create some kind of weird false apocalypse, like 9/11, like Agenda 21, a false flag attack. And one joke from the Ashtar command is, we false flag very well also. That's a joke I've heard them tell me. We false flag very, very well also, so that they'll be doing something or telling their Starseeds something that makes no sense. kind of like John Lennon saying, I am the Eggman, I am the Eggman, I'm the walrus, cuckoo, cachoo, and people want to decipher, what does this mean? And it means literally nothing, and that's the point. So, I think that's a pretty good strategy, given how, deep the nature that I've found the reptilian telepathy is, and also the way the Greys are. So, they want to create some kind of 9/11 or like nuclear war type thing, and then come down and save everybody somehow, or create this appearance of being angels or something, like the second coming of Jesus type thing, and then get everybody to either worship them or just something weird, and a bunch of it is controlled by the moon. Well, a lot of people have heard things about the Greys and the moon. Yeah, that's real. Yes, it is. It's real. If you're out in the middle of nowhere, kind of like the suburb where I live, and you are wondering, is that stuff really real? Yes, it is, and I was absolutely shocked to realize that it was. Whoops! And the government will watch me if I just want to talk about it on YouTube. Alright. So, activation in that sense. I saw on YouTube once there was a girl saying that she had experiences, and one of the memories that she had was seeing small creatures at a board saying, activate, 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 and that's kind of how they talk. It sounds like your Dalek, exterminate, exterminate, like kind of voice that they have. But there are those there. I feel compelled to talk about the Greys, like people are wanting to know. They're weird. They are very weird. Yes, you are weird. They are very, very smart. So it's like too smart for smart, kind of thing. And it's like they're not bad, but it's like what else do you call where you tried to sadistically murder the Arcturian starseed inside of her own house? It's like Attack of the Clones, kind of like, well, I'm smarter than you. But you can't. It's like don't feel any emotions, and then they get mad when you tell them that. So, that will be at least some of what I will talk about with the Greys and activation, because at least I know that's what happened to me. So if you have been thinking, okay, now this activation thing, this activate thing, I think it happened to me, but I think it was like it got hit in the head. It didn't feel like all good necessarily, then you're not crazy. And yes, it did happen to other people, because they are out there. And you are talking to one of them. Hello? What else can I talk about today? Well, what am I preferring to do? Well, I would prefer to be able to say that everyone that you watch on YouTube that has a nice professional video, that you can trust them, but it's simply not the reality that I have found is occurring right now. So, trust only your inner space. So, that means maybe whatever even I am saying, that doesn't matter. Only what you sense inside. I know personally, I would hear people say this kind of weird stuff about the Greys before it actually happened to me, and I would think, okay, you know, I trust some of what they're saying, but, nah, you know, some of that, no way. Like, I mean, there's no way that they're underground compounds that people are being tortured inside of, and, like, and Greys inside of there with these hybrid things that they'll hardly yell or whoever. Then that no way, not. I heard about it all first too. Before then, I saw it and I was like, oh shit. That's real. That like in the Matrix where Neo's like, holy shit, that thing's real. Yeah. Like that. So if you find yourself in that kind of oh holy shit, that thing is real situation, yep, happened to me. It's okay. We deal with it. We're the creators. They kind of have to rely on us a lot for things. Oh, okay, Greys are interesting with the creator destroyer nature. They know, okay, they know that they are children of the source, but it's as if they understand that they need to go into the light, but it's almost like a hitting a wall confusion as to how to do it. And that's where the hybridization program came from, except they figured out that, oh crap, we really don't prefer when we abduct the human, right, and then we do weird things to it. We don't prefer when it kicks and screams and then figure out how to kill us with its mind. We don't prefer them figuring that out. Okay. So now that's there's a different idea in place with that. And at least I thought to myself, with a little bit of how they are, Arcturians are arrogant, but they take the cake with arrogant. They really take the cake with little too arrogant. There. So what you can do with all of this going on, what I'm trying to sense people wanting to hear about here, what you can do with this. So if you notice one of the weird looking airplanes in your area, an actual ship of some kind, or weird lights above your house, let's say, like I would have before this was happening to me, just before, I would see weird lights outside, and I would look, and suddenly they would disappear. And once, the night before August 20th, I looked outside, actually stepped outside, and I saw an actual spaceship, an actual disc-shaped craft with a dome top and lights around the side, and I just sort of stared, thought, oh, wow, kind of like that. Wow, that thing is actually flying in front of me, wow. But, you see, it was in the third dimension, and so I knew that was not a good thing. If you see a fifth dimensional craft, most of us that are born a little bit later, or people that aren't born with their abilities active, when you see a fifth dimensional craft, it will be kind of like seeing a shadow of it along the sky, or seeing lights in a grid type pattern, and you'll just get a sense, kind of like for people that are you know, getting older like me, even though I know I'm not old. Kind of like Angels in the Outfield, where Christopher Lloyd says, "You may not always see us, but we're always watching." You get a kind of a good feeling from inside, and that's your way to know. Okay, yeah, that's them. That's the Galactic Federation of Light. Okay, those are my friends up there. So, how to get involved? I know a lot of you guys are gonna be teenagers, because most of the people in my area, the only ones I think who still stand a chance, are the kids. And a lot of you guys are teens, wanting to find out about what's this New World Order thing, because you can sense it, you can feel it. You know that something really is going on. Something weird is happening, but you don't know what it is, like Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan there. So, what you do, try to cultivate your skill sets, figure out, what specific things are you good at. Also, don't be focused on who's better than who. The type of hierarchical thinking, one of the tactics that I've noticed now is that in targeting the youth, targeting the teens, you guys are being targeted as to, oh, yeah, you've got superpowers. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, see who's better than who. Who can be the best, super person of them all. Just so you know, any, kids with that mindset right now, I was the person who, predicted all of the Ubermensch stuff, because past life, yeah, cool, yeah. And I also knew when I would come back, too. Or I didn't know when. I was determined to know. I participated in the past life. I'm going to say this. I participated in the past life of Friedrich Nietzsche, the way that soul streams work. So you can't say, oh, I was that person in the past. What you can say was that you participated in the perspective of the person. And I know I was part of a really dominant perspective of that person. And you can just tell when I walk around, and the way my life has transpired so far, it resembles so many things. And I would get called der Übermensch in school, and I would think, yeah, that's me, and I wouldn't even know what that meant. I wouldn't even know what it meant. And then I would hear people say Nietzsche. Don't ever say Nietzsche around me. Let's get that straight right now. No. Don't say Nietzsche around me, because that's completely mispronouncing it. I used to, now I can handle it, but I used to actually viscerally react and think, you're saying my name wrong. And actually react to it and want to, I would actually go up to the people and correct them and say, no, you pronounce it this way. And I had no idea why. I actually thought, there's something wrong with me. There's seriously something wrong with me with this. Why is it was just this one guy, just this one person. And finally it was let's just say you could call it his tulpa energy. After talking to me for a while, where I got the first ghost I ever really talked to, and I felt comfortable finally talking to a ghost type thing. And he said, well, I'm not exactly just here to talk to you as a ghost, and I would say, well, what are you here for? And I was shown all these similarities between the two of us. I have Lyme disease, and he had syphilis. Both diagnosed it at the age of 21. With me, the whole agenda, 21. Oh, how fun. With intercepting that. Oh, and yeah, it looks like the next, anyone who wants to get in on the resistance stuff, next attack, October 21st. So, yeah, it seems like at least they're trying to make it, they're trying to create an opening. In that video where I said October 20th, they're trying to create the opening to do something around those dates. So, let's close that opening. Because I'm apparently a master manifester, and can make lots of stuff happen, and make crazy stuff pop off, at any minute. So, yes, back to you teens. What we used to say, me and Friedrich, what he told me basically, I'm you, I'm you, no shit, I'm you. And I was just, I freaked out for a couple of days. I couldn't really deal with it. And it was finally when I just admitted it. admitted it on Facebook, that this feeling came over into my heart, unmistakable feeling, kind of like where an angel is there with you or something. And he would say, tell everybody the way I used to talk about pity. He used to say, don't pity people. He used to be kind of a selfish bastard, and he really regrets that. He really regretted that was how he presented a lot of his philosophy. And also, Zarathustra, also sprach Zarathustra, thus spoke Zarathustra. I'm just gonna say Zarathustra because that's how he pronounced it. Zarathustra was a Pleiadian, and that's gonna make way more sense for any of you Nietzsche kids out there. Yes, you are talking to one of the reincarnations of Friedrich Nietzsche. It's really, really awesome, cool. And I was kind of known as your sit-at-home disabled philosopher, so awesome. Back then, I don't think he knew that Zarathustra was a Pleiadian. It was a tall white, for people wondering, all the alien people are wondering. Was a tall white, and he told him there's going to be a superhuman that will come about. And also, Superman, anyone who says Superman to me, no. He hated that translation, the Superman thing, because, see, now we've got Superman the comic, and it just doesn't work. I always thought of it as over-person. That was how, when people would say it to me, at school, I was just literally, I took German at school, because I'm half German. And so I would think over person, and I would just think to myself, oh, well, apparently this word means that I'm superior somehow. And I wouldn't know what it meant, who invented it at all, nothing. And I would go from one class where someone would say Nietzsche, and I would go, 16 years old, and walk to German class, and someone would say, der Übermensch, and I'd say, yep, that's me, and not know what I was talking about, what exactly I was even saying. Yes, I was. But apparently, yes, and what's really cool is I was right. Everybody thought that I was freaking nuts back then. Back then in the 1800s, they thought I was, it was just like now. She's just insane. She's oh my gosh, just nuts. And now we're here, and now it's like one of the versions of me, at least, is back, and we can say, yes, we're right. Ha ha ha. But so back to what you kids are gonna get targeted with, and I can say you kids because I had a little bit of experience with remembering differences about being a teenager. Yes, you guys are more quantum in your nature, but you still have to go through the biological changes of the human body during the ages of, I'm going to say, 14 to 25. Alright? And even earlier for people at age 12. So 12, things are going to be accelerated, a little bit, but the hormones and everything, they still apply. So what people like me went through, you guys will still go through, and it can screw you off course really badly. With Friedrich, he requested I call him Friedrich because he thought that this is kind of perverted. His tulpa thought I was hot, and so he wanted me to call him by his first name because it was like the girl who he dated who ended up rejecting him. So I was like, okay, whatever. And so with Friedrich, he'd been followed around by Pleiadian ever since he was born, practically. He would say, he would call his work a book for free spirits. And so I think Zarathustra let him think he was just a spirit to not scare him, really. But at the same time, Pleiadians are guilty of this. Arcturians tend to... What we prefer is different from what the Pleiadians prefer. The Pleiadians are more what humans would call play God. Arcturians are a lot more, okay, you are no longer what would be considered a primitive creature, you human beings. We are going to let you make the first move here. We're not going to come down like a gray and take your DNA. We're not going to do this, that, or the other to you. We're not going to just pop into your life, for, you know, if you're not ready. I know that, for example, me, you know, so me is Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche was ready, for just a child, and also had the same kind of Christian programming like I do. Came into all that. The same thing, people would call me linguist, write great books, all that sort of thing that's getting pushed at me. And he had, this is funny, his animal was a great horned owl and then a red-tailed hawk. And mine is the opposite, the traditional red-tailed hawk, great horned owl. I guess what I'll talk about this in another part of this video, because I know now I'm about to run out of time on the video. But this is some very interesting stuff with, I guess, of past lives for me as we get into the night. Also, one cool thing about activation, you don't have to sleep nearly as much or eat nearly as much. So when you realize you're totally poor, that you have no friends, and hardly an internet connection probably, just realize that they know that. It's okay, and the message is, hold on, we're coming, just don't panic, and everything's gonna be okay. But us, the humans, have to, you know, like the old train for all the old timers. Anybody older watching this? I won't give up if you don't give up. Calling all angels, like that. I won't give up if you don't give up. We need to give the go-ahead for them. They won't just come in and save us. We have to be the ones making all the initiative with it. So, I'm gonna talk. I'll talk a little bit more, a little interesting part 2 to this, because I think it's time to talk about the Friedrich Nietzsche stuff. That's pretty fun. Blessings to you all, and namaste.